cold at the touch, dead in the eyes, no signs of life no more. I put your love under the knife. Leave me to die here all alone. No signs of life no more, no. A crying dove may never fly. It's black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh, oh. Oh, oh. It's black and white. Black and white, just let me go. It's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. White, white, white. Just let me go. It's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. White, white, white. It's black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh, oh. Oh, oh. It's black and white. It's black and white.
Yeah, no me hagan mostrar. A la buena el mejor, a la mala normal. Yo no sé de rapear. Capi pone en la pista y yo empiezo a tirar. Yo no vine a inventar. Pegado en la UCI, pegado en la TAN. Mala mía, manito, es que como yo no hay otro igual. ¿Qué tal? El tiempo te lo estoy cambiando. 50 formas de seguir facturando. El género cambia para largo y lo parto. Tranquilo que este flow yo te lo reparto. Que te celebrando que estamos ganando. La vida es un si no me entiendes, googlea lo que estoy tirando. Para que tú no me sigas envidiando. Alto.
Oh my god, Jim's gonna shut him down. It's a double kill for Jim.
Oh my god, Jim!
Looking pretty good. It's gonna be a triple kill. Jim comes on. the right angle, but couldn't land the shot. The dark scope, the two-piece! Oh my god! Oh no! He was down to 1 second on the clock!
Já pegou bala na cara do Master. O Almairinho vai tentando fazer o primeiro. Da estátua vai tentar o tiro porrada e bomba! Vem! Clutch muito difícil de vencer, mas...
On the body that you hit, he no-scope for a follow right there. He no-scope.
Termina eliminando a Jackie, igual queda solamente positivo por parte de repente, consigue la primera baja de este round, se da cuenta que no puede.
All right, guys, welcome back to another day of the Mobile Mayhem Girls Only Tournament. As you guys can tell, today we do have the wonderful Beef Mommy with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me, Day. And honestly, I've been looking forward to finally starting day number 2. And I know I wasn't there day number 1, but honestly, you and Zim just did such a great job at casting that. And not only that, it was such an amazing start to this tournament. Because you already know, guys, this is going to be, or girls, may I add, this is going to be such an amazing part for esports, just because it's the biggest girls tournament that we have here in NA. So I'm really excited for today.
Yeah, it definitely should be a fun one. There's definitely a couple teams from day 1 that I'm going to have my eyes on. Nyx being one of them, NYX, as well as ARP was another really solid team. Obviously, Carnage was absolutely cracked in. There is such a high sniper level of talent in here that I don't necessarily want to say I was shocked by, because I knew there were really good players, but I mean, it ended up even being better than I had imagined. And many of the girls here could absolutely compete in, any level of competition. So, we're definitely going to have our eyes out for the likes of Aerith. Shorty as well was absolutely cracked with the DLQ. So I'm pretty excited for it. We do have
Absolutely.
we do have the standings from Tuesday, which I'm sure that you caught it. You already know there was a bunch of 2-0s, even though they were really, really phenomenal games. So as you can see, we have a 4-way tie for first place with 20 points each, and then we have another 4-way tie for the remaining teams. But the first day, again, there were so many games that could have gone either way if just a round or two swung in the other favor. So definitely gonna be an exciting one. For our first match of the night, we are going to have Truly versus NYX. So another set of teams that I really think Truly could be a hard hitter team as well, but Nyx is going to be a very, very strong competitor. So we'll go ahead and pop over into our map bans, and if you have those up, you can go ahead and run down them if you want.
Well, I actually don't have it up, but you know what? It's okay. It doesn't really matter because, honestly, when it comes to day number 1, obviously you were saying it a while ago. It's okay, we saw a lot of games for Hardpoint and Search and Destroy, but we haven't even seen one domination game. I want that to happen here. And I really want to see these girls pull through because the expectations that we finally have and see here, honestly, we expected them to really perform. And day number 1, they just showed that for the map packs and the picks also. And we've seen it already here. And with firing range being our first one, especially going into it, we are going to be seeing here, it's going to be a really interesting matchup because we have Honeybees and Carnage going into our first matchup.
Oh, I totally skipped a matchup. You're right. It is Honeybees versus Carnage.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope. That's my bad. I did jump the gun, guys. But this should definitely be a really solid one as well. So we're gonna hop on into the game. The action is already started, and Aeon gonna come through with a big kill onto Vanish, but Ginebra comes through with a big double kill in return, and so far just a slight advantage to the side of Carnage girls.
Yeah, just a slight advantage just because you know it's going to be P1 very heavily contested all the time just because of how open it actually is going to be. Now, P1 here, you're not going to be seeing a lot of points being racked up. It's always going to be that back and forth right here, right, Day? So it's going to be interesting how they are going to be getting all of those power positions, knowing very well you need to get Trailer, you need to get 2F over here in Woodhouse. So you're seeing a very interesting back and forth here.
Yeah, Aeon already off to a great start, has full streaks. We saw the Hunter Killer, we saw the Pred, got a Sentry Gun ready to go, and almost going to have the Sparrow on board as well. So definitely going to be an exciting matchup. Does slide through and finds one, but does get taken down. And it does look like we're going to get the retake for Honeybees once again.
Oh, Honeybees looking so good, and they're basically going in there for the rotation again. But it's going to be up to them if they can rotate into that P2. But you know, American is going to be a little bit harder here just because of how many points of entry you can actually go and get. You have 3, so you need to have solid defense outside as well. Not only for the OBJs that you're going to be seeing here, but also going into that early rotations as well. Carnage is not going to be giving up the point though, but hopefully we get to see a very great offs here.
Yeah, off to a great start for Honeybees. They got a lot of time on P1 as well as they went ahead and picked themselves up a lot of control on a P2 with that early break, and I feel like I kind of may have cast or cursed a few people there, switched over to them just to have them immediately die. Rue gonna get the long distance kill onto V there, and it looks like Honeybees really starting to run away with this one. They've got about a 60-point lead here, and we're only on P2.
Yeah, absolutely. But then there's still a lot of actually points to go into P3, going into Trailer. We already see a very early rotation going into the side right now, Carnage. So that's the best thing that they can do. But then they are going up against another team that is so shy. And Honeybees is not going to be able to give them a really easy time. So not only did they get the scrap points and majority of the points in P2, but P3 is going to be infiltrated just like that, flushed out already, 1 by 1. Honeybees is doing such a great job of flushing out the competition.
And as you can see, Aeon absolutely on one right now, 14-6. Anna is 10-6 as well. So we've got those two players in double digits, and looking over at the opposition, we definitely see a little bit of struggle as well. The concussions coming through have been absolutely huge for the side of Honeybees. They are locking down and denying the area pretty consistently throughout this game. V coming through with a big triple kill. It is going to help them get the break and get a little bit of a hold, but Carnage girls, they've got a long way to go to recover the 60-point deficit that they're sitting at right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You can already see here, they're only getting the scrap points here in P3, and the rotation is already going to come on for P4. So it's really a gunfight after gunfight that they're losing. So we already see that a lot of these girls are struggling to really win those gunfights. And yes, they have that early rotation going into P3, but they weren't able to defend it really well. What they need to do, get those power positions outside, and now they're going to go inside that Woodhouse. Yes, and the operator skills that are go out, so they need to utilize that well because all the girls are going to be heavily defending P4.
Yeah, Dogswine with a good slide there, gonna pick up one, helping Honeybees lock down the point, but does get killed by the Sparrow of Aeon after taking quite a few hit markers through the wall. Oh my goodness, there is just so much action going on right now. We did have quite a bit of time recuperated by the side of Carnage, but they still have a long way to go. They definitely need to get this hold here, but it is going to be Aeon once again coming through with a big play, but it's not quite big enough, as it is Carnage finding another shot at life here as they get the push out, and it looks like they're actually getting a pretty decent hold here on Wood.
Another shot at life, but then the stinger is still there. You can see the early rotation going in here through the Honeybees, going into position. Steelhouse 2F needs to be contested. They need to get those power positions going into that P1 because it's going to be so hard to infiltrate. Not only that, you're going to know that's going to be the score streaks are going to be collected right now for the side of Honeybees just because they won so many of their gunfights. So operator skills, everything's going to be utilized here, and it's a very strong hold so far. But again, Aeon yet again with such strong patience and really great defense.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have 18 kills on the board for Aeon, but Vanish, one of the biggest players for Carnage, definitely trying to get something going here. Rue gonna knock off the streaks there. V does get concussed, but has a Sparrow, and this is a point where you could definitely capitalize on making a break, as well as we rotate over to P2. The Sparrow not being banned is absolutely huge for these two teams. Another big kill for Evelyn there, picking up Anna running around the corner, and what was a 60-point game not long ago is now sitting at just about 20 points between these two teams.
Yeah, and just like that, they were able to actually get a lot of those points in P1, which is surprising to me, just because of how hard you can actually defend this one. It's going to be so hard to infiltrate. Now the rotation needs to come in, but then they're all spawning off of firing range, which is going to be so hard because you can see here, into position is going to be Honeybee just flying around their honeycomb, and it's going to be very hard to infiltrate as the defense is going to be absolutely solid right now from the girls.
Yeah, Honeybees are absolutely killing it right now with their rotations. They made it over to P2 early, did give up the scrap time a bit on P1, but they set themselves up in a position where right now they're only about 10 points to go, and it doesn't really look like anybody's going to get the touch. Ginebra might get the push in, but it's going to be pushing right into a sentry gun. Does actually get the double kill. That's pretty huge. That was a pretty interesting choice to push up in front of the sentry, and that is going to be the win going over to Honeybees.
You're just like, you're going right in front of the sentry gun and expecting nothing's gonna happen. Now that is absolute madness day. And again, a very strong start yet again by the Honeybees nonetheless, and Aeon always just leading the pack. And that's gonna be so impressive for me just because they've been doing such a good job at day number 1, and now day number 2, they're always starting out the first team. So it's gonna be so funny to me just because they're always going to be really just dictating the pace of the whole matchup. And the Honeybees seem to be like they want to get the honey and just go for the crown.
Yeah, definitely looking to be the case right now. As we mentioned, we were hyping up Aeon, who ended the game at 29-17, a nice 12 positive, and what ended up being a pretty spicy match. I gotta admit, off of the first 2 rotations, I was starting to think, man, Honeybees are just here to clown Carnage right now, and Carnage were able to bounce back pretty big on the combination of trailer, wood, as well as that second rotation over to P1. So you can definitely see Artemisa was pretty solid on the objective control, but definitely struggled in winning the gunfights at 6-20, but with a minute 23 on the hill, which is actually the top objective control for the lobby. And that's on the losing team. So again, Artemisa played objective absolutely phenomenal there, but if we win a couple more of those gunfights, maybe that matchup turns out a little bit different. So looking over the scoreboard, the only player on Honeybees to go negative was Rue, and even then it was only -2. So realistically, the fact that the game was as close as it was largely based around the rotations that Carnage was able to bring to the table.
Absolutely, like what you said, they were able to pull through into that P4. They were able to get a lot of those points to the point where there were only just a few points left in between them. So this is a closer matchup that I really want to see. And they won, yes, Honeybees won, but not by a super large margin. At least we saw, you know, the 100-point club finally. So we're heading into Search and Destroy though. So that is going to be one type of game mode, one type of game to really go in, just sit back, relax, think about what happened in that first game, and to really just think about, just because Search and Destroy, it's going to be very slow. It's a non-respawn game mode for all of you new Call of Duty Mobile fans over here that's watching. So if you are at a loss in that respawns, you can always take it back here in Search and Destroy, which a lot of teams usually do when they have a hard time with hardpoint.
Yeah, definitely a case, and it's one of the things that me and my co-casters that I've worked with in the past have always considered for this kind of matchup is when you go into Search and Destroy, even if you are a little bit like, in this matchup, I guess, based on the hardpoint win going over to Honeybees, we'll say Carnage is the underdog here, right? Well, it's not as easy to get snowballed in Search and Destroy. You get, if you have a bad round, boom, couple seconds later, you're getting a fresh round start. It's not like a hardpoint or a dom where you can just get absolutely rolled by sentry guns and pred missiles and score operators and things of that nature. So there's definitely a big opportunity here where maybe Carnage is able to turn things around. I'm right there with you. I'd love to see a domination here tonight because we have a lot of teams that have a really high talent pool, as well as many teams that are just overall, I feel like, really good competition for each other as well. So I'm pretty excited for it. Definitely going to get another look at Vanish and Search and Destroy, one of the biggest factors for Carnage on Tuesday. And maybe I'm throwing off here. Are we supposed to have op 34 in here?
Well, you know what? We're just so excited for everything, but everything that's happening here so far, especially with that very spicy hardpoint. It's going to be interesting how we get into Search and Destroy because Honeybees and Carnage girls, they have had the same point. So we saw Honeybees absolutely destroyed Operation 34 in that Search and Destroy and firing range. They did get a score of 6-2. And for Carnage as well, they were able to be truly surprisingly in standoff in 6-2. So they're pretty evenly matched, especially going in there. Obviously, Molly and Ion's going to be the top stars going into Honeybees, but it's Vanish that's going to absolutely be the MVP for Carnage as well.
Yeah, and we are getting spawned into the Search and Destroy here. We saw a couple teams run like basically full-on snipers in the last Search and Destroy that we saw, so it'll be interesting to see if we have any more of that tonight. Does look like we have a couple snipers, couple AS Vals, MX9s, so we will have some snipers here. Let's go ahead and jump on into it right now for you guys as we get started off with Search and Destroy between Carnage and Honeybees.
And here we go. The girls are going to be having that early rotation going into Alpha. Now, a warehouse is always going to be a very good place to actually go and plant, but you need to find that top L control, which we see Honeybees, they're going to be having that. So let's see what is going to happen just because you know how they, oh, nope, you know what? I take it back. You actually didn't have it. So just like that, it's going to be a 4v2 situation. No, 4v3, that's going to be still very doable.
Yeah, Molly actually coming through with a big pick there. It's not enough to even things out in the 1-for-2 trade, but it definitely makes it a little bit more doable. So we'll keep our eye out. Does look like Molly is going to go for the high ground. Does have a shorty in hand. That's obviously been a strong one in the meta. Whether you watched on Tuesday, whether you watched Stage 4, doesn't really matter. But Artemisa coming through with a kill onto Dog Swine. Oh, Molly, you got to win that one. Turns around, picks up the kill on Vanish. Anna going to find Ginebra. But I just don't know if they're going to have time on the board. The shorty one-shot doesn't come through, and I just don't think it's going to happen. Round 1 going to go over to the side of Carnage.
Carnage giving absolute carnage right now for the side of Honeybees, and they just dropped like a bunch of bees. And, that's how you play this game. That's how you play Search and Destroy here in Hackney Yard. They had top L control, and we saw that Honeybees didn't actually have that. So we see a 2-3 split, 2 going into A and 3 going into Bravo. That was a very good read, though. Now that they know that Alpha is not going to be occupied, the rotation needs to come through for the side of Honeybees.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of a trade over in the top of the office building, but does look like it's going to be a couple back and forth. Nobody really getting the advantage. It is going to be a 2-for-2 trade, but we do have Kelsey picking up 1. Molly making the rotation from behind with the MX9. Gonna find Artemisa, and that is going to be bombed down. Vanish now in a 1 versus 3, and you surely have to imagine that that bomb down call out is gone out. Vanish does find 1, but gets hit markered. My keybind not quite working there, but we are going to hop on over. This is such a dangerous position to be in. Kelsey, how are you not pushing that? Oh my goodness, Vanish somehow finds a double kill with 5 HP on the board. That was absolutely nuts.
And this is why we always said, look out for Vanish, because she is absolutely correct. And now the bomb is going to be going down. But you know what? For Vanish, that's not going to be a problem. But we already know that Kelsey is going to know where the bomb is going down. So that defense is going to be absolutely solid. Vanish is going to need to have that intuitive nature. And what she does spot her. Oh, but then it's going to be playing for time. 30 seconds left on the clock here, and the bomb's going down. It needs to get planted.
Oh, the COD timing. Oh, no. Both doors Vanish would have seen Kelsey if they were just a second behind. Gonna rotate over to the bomb. Definitely gonna be a different one. The gunfight's gonna come through, and Kelsey with great positioning using the top of the staircase there, almost as a head glitch, able to pick up the kill while remaining entirely safe. And that is gonna be the rounds being tied up now, 1-1 as Honeybees are able to bounce back.
I saw there with Kelsey. She wasn't greedy. She didn't become too aggressive. She could have easily become, eliminated just like that. But instead, she played for time, knowing very well there was 30 seconds left on the clock. So she just had peekaboo, peekaboo, let's see if you can see me. And eventually, that's what we got. Molly again with the opener, doing such an amazing job. Maybe getting a second, not quite.
I couldn't quite find the second one, but so far the team has a 3-for-1 trade. Make it a 4-for-2 as Anna picks up Vanish. Artemisa on the run. Gets away from Anna, but runs right into Dog Swine. And 2-1 gonna be the lead now for Honeybees here in Search and Destroy.
And it just seems to be like it's an even playing field for both of these teams. So I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to be going into a round 11 just because of how well they've been doing. And so far, we can see Carnage is just struggling just a little bit. And yes, they had a really banger for opener, but then one girl is going to be going down. Kelsey is going to be doing such a great job at having that opening pick, essential for her team.
I'm kind of disappointed I've missed the opening snipes, but clearly we're going to have to keep our eyes on Kelsey a little bit more here. Do have Dog Swine and Anna with her, but as you can tell, it is going to be the side of Carnage playing a little bit back right now. Not really wanting to push on up. They are down one player already, so the advantage is going to be in favor of Honeybees, who are again up in the 1-0 lead in the series. And with Kelsey finding a couple rounds of opening picks, it could definitely be a deciding factor as this game continues to progress. As you can see, Vanish is starting to push up, throwing down some utility, but can't quite find the confidence to push on up into A building. Is going to climb on up, takes a couple shots, going to make it out alive. I don't know if that window's the window I'm challenging this late into the round. You've already given the opportunity for the other team to set up. Probably going to have to be, this is actually the really smart play, push top mid here, and maybe get an opportunity to come from behind.
You're absolutely right with pushing that top mid. You always need to want that top L control going into warehouse, but they are going to be just like that. It's going to be so hard because one by one they are dropping, but they are going to be evening things out. It is going to be a 3v3 situation, and that was such a good push. But then it's going to be problematic here because they need to stick together, but they are going to be getting a lot of these frags one by one. So for the side of Carnage, they just need to stick together. They need to plant the bomb here in Bravo. But then we already know that the Honeybees know that as well. But then getting that, but then finds a big kill. Aeon always going to be that reliable girl.
Bomb spotted.
Yeah, and Aeon going to come through with a big kill onto Artemisa. Going to take the round lead even further. We're now sitting at 3-1 between these two teams. And like I was telling you, Honeybees definitely a team that impressed me on Tuesday. And they are continuing to show out here now. The hard point was a really spicy one after the first couple points where Carnage was able to turn things around. But not quite able to pull together the win. Great concussion comes through, and Molly going to come through with a big double kill.
Molly is absolutely correct, and that was a great read. Using the utilities to actually go in there for the first frags, and Dogswine's going to be able to get one more. So it's going to be a 4v2 situation, a very unfavorable thing if you are going to be Carnage just because of how hard it's going to be. They need to stick together. The bomb is going to be right alone. It's going to be so hard right now for her to actually pull through, but then Dogswine with the grenade gets rid of Artemisa, and we are going to have a 4-1. But then we are going to be switching sides, so maybe it's going to be a little bit easier for them to go into that defense. So hopefully they go in there for the rotation, and I want to see that third floor control going into Bravo.
Yeah, definitely gonna be a difficult one. Honeybees are not a pushover team whatsoever, but we absolutely could see Carnage make the comeback. We are flip sides now, so it will give the side of Honeybees the chance to be on offense, and I do feel like that may just help them overall in the long run, in all honesty. It is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Vanish finds Dog Swine, and Kelsey, once again, I don't know why I'm not watching this girl off the start, because she has found first bloods left and right. Vanish gonna find Molly, but Aeon absolutely nuts, especially with the shorty in hand. Finds another as well. I can't switch to people fast enough.
You know what? Let's give some help in the chat and give some love in the chat for Day doing such a great job. But you know what? What you're doing is not that easy. But then that was absolutely crazy. Ayon already having so many kills already in this particular round, and it's going to be Artemisa already doing a good job as well. It's a 2v1 situation, but it's still very doable for her to go in for the clutch.
Finds one. Can't quite find the other, and that is looking like it's going to be a round going over to Honeybees once again as they take the 5-1 lead over Carnage Girls. I gotta say, the hardpoint was a super solid game, right? There was a lot of back and forth. While Honeybees took a little bit of an advantage early on, Carnage was able to find some mid-game pressure, and that just doesn't seem to be the case here in the Search and Destroy. Honeybees are just way too cracked. Aeon specifically is absolutely nuts. 6 kills on the board. Rocking an HSO shorty class nonetheless.
That trophy system just saved her life. Just 2 grenades just popping off. But you know what? This is why we like to have those trophies. But then it's going to be going down as 3v5 situation. No, a 2v5 situation. Big kills coming into Artemisa and Ninebra again. And it's going to be so bad for her. But then if it's going to be one person that can clutch everything up, it is going to be Ayon. Is she going to be able to do so? Not quite. It's going to be so hard. A 4v1.
Whoa.
Getting a hit marker, but no, absolutely denied. And finally, we get to see there is no more drought of 5-2. There's still a long way to go, but it's still very possible.
Yeah, and as you can see, the shorty is clearly stronger than the HSO as Aeon gets the hit marker there. Not quite enough to get the kill, but at the same range, the shorty's like, nah, I got this, don't you worry. And it is a bounce back round for the side of Carnage here, but could still go either way. You know, I tried to stay off Kelsey because last round I hopped over to her and she died, and so I stayed off this time. Boom, gets a kill. So clearly I need to work on the caster curse because it's pretty bad right now.
I know, but you know, we're keeping our eyes on Kelsey just because she's going to be having a very spicy meetup right here. Is in a very cheeky spot. That head glitch is going to be so nasty if she actually gets to hit that, but no, doesn't quite get that, is going to be spotted, and it's going to be very smart for her to actually go in for the rotation and really just go for her teammate just because she's going to be the only person over there. And yes, they do have top L control, so whoever's going to be going there, it's going to be Ayon again with the shorty. And like what we said, the shorty is going to be so powerful to the point where it's basically a primary weapon and your secondary is going to be a Holger.
Yeah, quite often that is the meta right now. Holger and shorty. The shorty by itself really makes playing SMGs a pretty hard thing to do, right? A lot of the strong SMGs in the meta right now are still usable, but man, if you round a corner and it's a kill race, 9 times out of 10 that shorty is going to win in the short range. Molly going to come through with a kill onto Vanish. That's pretty solid. Molly finds a double. Unfortunately, wasn't able to catch it on screen, but that is going to leave it to a 4 versus 2 with 16 seconds on the clock. Aeon picking up Lachita and Gnebra. I don't know if they're going to be able to clutch this one up. They do find 2 kills, but with 7 seconds on the clock and 2 players alive, it's just not going to happen. Aeon, absolutely unstoppable, coming through with the HSO kill to round it out.
That is absolutely crazy. I just keep seeing Ayon in the kill feed. It's just her, Ayon, Ayon, Ayon. And that was just, she's the #1 right now. She's the MVP for her team. And not only does she get kills into Search and Destroy, but she does such a good job in those respawns as well. I wonder how many kills she actually has now. And without any surprise, she's going to be that MVP. Molly going to be in the second. But that was such a great effort, you know, going inside the Carnage. Just because they did such a good job into that first round, but then after that, unfortunately, they weren't able to pick it up because after that, the Honeybees basically knew what they were doing. They read it like the back of their hand. They basically knew the rotations going in there. Not only that, it's going to also be the gunfight to keep winning.
Yeah, and I do actually, for the side of Carnage, have to give a really big shout out here because Artemisa, as we mentioned, played OBJ and did struggle in the gunfights in the hard point. But look at this for Search and Destroy. I don't feel like I gave her enough credit during the game as it was going on. It was so flashy to watch Aeon play. But Artemisa coming through with 13 kills for Carnage that I didn't even recognize as the game was going on that she was popping off as hard as she was. It felt like the Aeon and Kelsey show largely, but it is going to be the 6-2 win going over to the side of Honeybees, and definitely feel for Artemisa right now. What a great search and destroy performance. Vanish coming through as well with 7 kills, and they just couldn't pull together the win. So unfortunately, it is going to be a loss for Carnage, but Honeybees picked themselves up another win. And if I'm remembering my standings correctly, that's going to put Honeybees up into 40 points, and Carnage will still be down at 20. So they're not in last place. They were able to pick up a win on Tuesday, but Honeybees are out ahead of the pack right now. Obviously, we have 3 more games ahead of us where obviously other teams could catch up. We're definitely going to be looking forward to the likes of your NYX, your ARP. I have high hopes for Operation 34, Truly, Zygnus. I mean, we have so many big names in here, orgs that are just so well known for scouting talent. I mean, Zygnus, Arsenal, Truly, all phenomenal orgs that we have here in COD Mobile. So I'm definitely excited for it. We're going to go ahead and get ready for NYX versus Truly Girls in our next matchup.
Absolutely. I'm so excited for that. And Honeybees did such a great job at opening day number 2. So I know the chat is going to be livid just because they know for the fans of Carnage, yeah, they did a good job, but they're not good enough. If they want to beat the other girls, they need to beat the Honeybees, and that didn't happen now. But you know what? There's still a lot of days for them to actually go and pull through. And so I'm really excited for the next matchup because it is going to be NYX versus Truly. And Truly struggled a little bit in day number 1, and NYX seemed to be like they're such a dominating team, giving everyone the run for their money. And honestly, the expectations are a little bit high for them. So that's why I feel like, you know, they really need to just prove to everyone, yes, we are going to be delivering. So hopefully day number 2 is going to be the same as day number 1.
Yeah, definitely have high hopes for NYX. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the rosters at all, but I mean, this is an absolutely cracked girls roster. Obviously, we've got Aerith, we've got Lydia GS from formerly XOXO and Cold from EU, as well as Bricksta from BK Rog. So this is a absolutely stacked roster. I mean, they have a bunch of phenomenal talent on the team as well. I mean, Tapo, so I'm pretty excited. I'm hoping that Truly is able to stand up to the competition and give us a good game here. Obviously, Truly a team that came in 2nd place in Masters for Masters, but hopefully they've been able to draft together some good talent here. Just because I see people asking in chat, it's not an 18+ event, and it is also not phone only. iPads are allowed, and it is not an 18+ restriction.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like with NYX, they're a stacked team. So that's why there's a little bit more pressure for the side of the Truly girls to really perform. And NYX really just showed us, you know, on Tuesday how well they actually did. And it's pretty scary with how dominating they can actually be. And like what you said, Lydia is going to be there, one of the only girls that actually was able to make it into very high tier competition. Yes, yeah, and even having to qualify to the later stages into that Europe NA Masters series. So again, with that in mind, there's a lot of experience already with this team, but you know what? Sometimes that doesn't come through, and you can have like an upset when you're going to see that Truly absolutely just pop off. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, we're definitely hoping for it here, and obviously Lydia's still a player that is very capable of earning a spot on Worlds, right? So that just goes to show how much talent is on this roster here. Again, I don't know if you've caught up with any of the names. I do remember most of them. So Agaboo is Aerith. Bragaboo is Bricksta. Chagaboo is Chelsea. Yep, and Nagaboo is Nicole. Yep. Yep. So everybody is up to date in chat. Obviously, as you guys can tell, Beef Mommy has done her research and already knows all about what NYX brings to the table. So we'll get you guys into the game as soon as we can. It'll be a great one. It's It's been a pleasure already casting with you, Beef Mommy, right? I feel like we had a lot of fun in that first match. We didn't get to see the Dom, but maybe this is the matchup that we do. It would be a tall order for Truly, but again, as an org in this scene, they have had a eye for talent in the North American Masters and Champs scene. So pretty excited about it. We're gonna go ahead and hop over to the draft for this series. So our first matchup, guys, is going to be on Raid Hardpoint. Game 2 will be played Search and Destroy on Firing Range, and if we make it to that Game 3 that me and Beef Mommy want so much, it will be Summit Domination.
Give it to me.
Yeah, so obviously, Beef Mommy, you know the kinetic armor was recently brought in and is in a very good spot, and that is going to be one of our operators here today, so a lot of shorty one-shot action coming your way. That's one of those operators that a lot of people have been using to counter that shorty meta, and with the Annihilator as the other ban, it leaves the Death Machine and the Sparrow both available.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the kinetic armor, you can basically just be a tank going into the hard points and just getting everyone, clearing the hard point out. And that's what I like to see. And the shorty, you need to have that some sort of, advantage over it. And that's been the problem in the past season, is that you can't really counter the shorty because of how well it can actually be. No other secondary can even come close. Even primary weapons have a hard time really just beating that out. So finally having something that can counter it is going to be so impressive. And now we are going into finally our game number 2 with our hard point. And now I'm really interested to see how they actually use all of their ops, everything, the score streaks, and really having a lot of these girls going in here in day number 2, especially also with Truly, right? You have a lot of work to do, especially if you want to beat Nyx. NYX, a formidable, team to be around. And I actually don't get to see the screen really quickly, just because I don't know. We have a bit of a delay here, so I don't know if I'm actually going to be on screen. So hopefully,
yeah, you are now.
Oh, I am now. Okay, good. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be such a big thing to do for you to beat Nyx, but I believe that you can actually do that, especially going into our first raid hardpoint, and it's still very, very doable for sure.
Yeah, and we're just waiting on 1 or 2 players to get readied up, guys, and we'll get into it. And I'm actually glad you mentioned that the shorty is basically a primary power weapon, right? Because we actually had that showcased pretty strong in the last matchup, where Aeon got a hit marker with the HSO, which is a primary shotgun, and then got turned on one shot by the shorty at the same range. So definitely a solid weapon. I'm crossing my fingers for some nerfs here in the near future, because I am just so tired of seeing shorty warfare. I really kind of want to go back to the Stage 4 weekend and just watch the kill feed, count all of the kills that we had over the weekend, and figure out how many of them were shorties, because there were like times where it's like 10 or 15 kills in a row, shotgun, and I'm just so tired of it.
I mean, a lot of people are already saying that it's Call of Shorty. So, I mean, every time there's going to be a cracked weapon, it's always going to be Call of Blank. So right now we are going to be at our Call of Shorty meta. And again, there's going to be, but then you can see here, they actually banned kinetic armor. So Again, the shorty is going to be making a very big appearance here. So a lot of things here that can actually go and happen.
Yeah, it definitely should be a good one. It looks like we have all of our players readied up, guys, so we're going to get you guys into the action as soon as we can. Again, we are leading off in a hardpoint raid for NYX versus Truly. As I say that, someone unready, so hopefully we'll get you guys into it soon. NYX definitely looked like an unstoppable force on Tuesday, so I expect big things out of them here. Truly, obviously, a team that struggled a little bit in their matchup. They did go down 2-0, so I feel like this is probably for sure going to be a uphill battle if they're able to find any traction. But again, there's definitely players on all of these teams that I am super excited to keep an eye out for. Pow on Truly was really solid. Wonderful was absolutely cracked for them as well. We saw the standoff Search and Destroy. She was absolutely nuts.
Oh yeah, even Raven was pretty good too. So obviously there's a lot of potential in this team right now, but it's a lot to really consider, having that one day to really go into practice and having down, seeing where you went wrong that day one, and really just getting everything, polishing everything up, and hopefully that is going to work out for them in here in day number 2. But we are going to be starting off real quick in hard point. Now here, Day, a lot of things are going to be happening already.
Yeah, we do have a couple kills off the bat. We actually did see K with the prize fighters there. I'm not sure if that was just for the speed class or whatnot. I haven't looked at all of the stats on that. But no surprise, Lydia coming through with a big gunfight win there, sounding out their opponent in the kitchen. And it does look like NYX probably just going to get basically all of the time here on P1. Raid Hardpoint is possibly the hardest P1 to break, with the exception of maybe Crossfire. So typically a team that gets control here has those head glitches available to them and is able to lock it down. But that's going to give Truly an opportunity to maybe get a defense set up for kitchen.
Yeah, the defense needs to be very solid. The rotation is already going to be coming through. It's going to be such an early rotation going in for the side of Truly, which is going to be very smart here. But it's going to be so hard just because everyone else from their team is still struggling and going in there. But big kills right now from New HUD. Again with kill, but then gets triggered out by Chagaboo. And that is going to be it. They're finally going to be going in for that infiltration. And just like that, NYX is going to be going into the kitchen, making some scrambled eggs, and having that solid defense.
Yeah, definitely it looks to be the case right now. Again, this is a team that I feel like could compete, you know, with actually probably most of the teams that were able to make it through to Stage 4 for North America. So they bring a lot of talent to the table. We did get a re-break for the side of Truly. They are getting some time on the board. In fact, there is enough that they could actually take a slight lead. But I definitely would expect to see NYX probably make one more push towards this and then probably start getting set up for next. Obviously, the Garage and Basketball hardpoints are easily the two easiest to hold, right? I would say Garage has a little bit better spawns favoring defense, though. So that is the money hill to me on this one. A big pred comes through for New HUD, picking up a double onto Aerith as well as Nicole.
You're absolutely right with the Garage being that P3, being the money hill, just because of how well you can actually go and defend it. And we're going to be seeing a very early rotation going into NYX, which is what I like to see. Oh, kill after another, it's going to be Agabo yet again. Aerith is going to be absolutely popping off, and she even kills with grenades as well. So you can see very solid defense here in P3. Like you said, it's going to be that money hill. They're going to be getting a lot of those kills, and you can see Truly's going to be having a hard time breaking the hill just because of how heavily defended it can be.
Yeah, Storm comes through with a big kill there on to Lydia, but just don't know if they're going to have the respawns to make the break on Garage. At this point, your best bet is probably just honestly start getting set up for Basketball Court, because you know NYX, they're watching this timer. When they start dying here, when the picks do come through, if they come through, because they're filling up the feed right now, they'll start making their rotation over to the Basketball Court as well. Chell's going to come through with a big kill onto HUD there, and man, I don't know why Truly are still fighting over a hill that's dying.
Exactly. They're keeping their eyes on something that is going to expire already, and they could have just rotated going into basketball, but no, they prioritize staying in that hill, and just like that, they're going to be having a hard time just because all the score streaks are going to be pulling through, like the Predator Missile having that Bragaboo, Bricksta having that double kill, very essential as well. So it's going to be a back and forth, yes, but then it's because they keep losing all of these gunfights, and now they're going to be having some points already here, but then how many times are they going to be flushed out by NYX? Now, it's going to be difficult for them to actually go in for the defense, but surprisingly, they're actually having a very solid hold here.
Yeah, Death Machine came through with a big kill on the side of, why am I doing right here? Truly, but they couldn't quite lock it down as long as they would like. They did pick themselves up like 20 or so points, but Aerith coming through with a big double kill. Oh man, it's like, I can't keep up with all of the action going on here. Storm slides the corner, is going to be behind the sentry gun, so has an opportunity to lock down some time here. But with only 25 seconds to go on the hard point, you definitely imagine NYX probably coming through with the win here on this next point. They do have some score streaks available, as well as I would imagine they have some operators available as well. So keep your eye out for those. And man, truly, they need to find some sort of ground here. I know that NYX is a really, really scary competitor, but Unfortunately for Truly, they just can't find any sort of momentum right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the rotation was coming in early from the side of NYX, and they also got the scrap points going into that P4, but then P5 is going to be very heavily contested right now by both of these teams. Not going to be surprising just because of how hard it's going to be defending it. But again, just when I said that, we really see such an amazing hold here for the side of NYX, 145 and 160, and the points are trickling down with one final point left. 150 and 60 is going to be our final score right now for Raid Hardpoint, and Truly couldn't even stand a chance.
Yeah, and, you know, again, it is NYX, right? Like, this is, again, a team that you could put them up against your Explicit. You could put them up against your NYSL, your Tribe, and they would have a good game, right? I'm not necessarily going to say that they would come through and win, because those are all really strong teams as well, but they definitely have an opportunity where they could push them for a run for their money, possibly even take some games or a win off of some of those teams as well. So this is not a pushover roster whatsoever. Again, you have potentially a couple Worlds competitors on this side in the likes of Lydia. Actually, I don't think Bricksta's on a roster for Stage 4. I'd have to look into that, but Aerith, definitely a content creator that you guys know and love. I think I was watching her stream earlier. She dropped like 85 kills in a game. Like, my goodness.
That is crazy.
Absolutely cracked. But, yeah, solid game there for NYX. Definitely the performance that we expected to see out of them. New HUD did the best they could on the side of Truly. Did go positive, 20 and 16, but as you can tell, it fell off hard from there, with Pau being at 7 and 22, Storm 7 and 22. Wonderful, not super negative at 11 and 17. Definitely going to be keeping an eye out for her in the Search and Destroy, because like I said, the sniping talent from Wonderful is absolutely cracked. In fact, chat had a pretty good laugh at it last time that she taught Moralto how to snipe. So we'll look and see.
Imagine that. Imagine teaching one of the best snipers how to snipe. Now that is I'd be so proud of that moment. So very impressive games here, and now we are going into Search and Destroy. Now this is scary because firing range has so many angles that you need to worry about, and you have a sniper like Aerith, and you have a high fragger like Lydia, and it's gonna be so impressive if they can actually go and have a slower take here. They need to have a strong sniper for the side of Truly for sure to even contest Aerith. So that's one of the things you need to do. Don't be too greedy, don't be aggressive just because you know that Aerith is going to be right around the corner. If you peek, you're probably going to die. And if you, there you go, wonderful, finally really having that, like, that's what we said, you need to make those shots.
Yeah, Wonderful coming through with a big opening pick there. Definitely felt it coming, right? I jumped right onto Wonderful. I was like, the sniping talent was so good on Tuesday. I got to see it happen again, and opens up with the first blood. Team Storm actually gets a kill onto Chagaboo as well, and that's going to tie things up in the 2-for-2 trade in this first round of Search and Destroy, but Nagaboo going to come through and does get the refrag, going to take the advantage. Does look like Bricksta is getting ready for the bomb plant. Wonderful, making the rotation over, but can't quite get a sight line on Nagaboo right now, but the bomb is down, and that is going to force them to play against the clock. Wonderful finds Bricksta, but gets hit markered by Nagaboo. We'll have to see who comes out on top of this one. It's a 2 versus 2. 30 seconds on the clock.
Oh, 30 seconds left on the clock, and Nagaboo has such pressure on her shoulders. There's going to be absolutely crazy if she's going to be able to get one. Yes, Nagaboo is going to be able to get Pau with the shorty left in hand, finds a second, and absolutely crazy stuff there. That should not have happened. What did we actually just see? Nagaboo, you are cracked, and this is why the shorty is going to be absolutely supreme.
Yeah, I hate that gun so much. But coming through, obviously strong in the meta. It's not like players are not going to use it, right? So they're playing for the win here. It's not against the rules, so it is absolutely free game no matter how much it makes me cringe. Got about 1:40 on the clock still. No first blood as of right now, but definitely going to be keeping an eye out on a couple of the snipers here. And your Wonderful Storm, as well as, I mean, most of the NYX roster snipes, if not all of them.
Now
Now that is scary knowledge. And if you're going to be a team going up against a team like NOX and you can just pick up any sniper and still pull through, now that is going to be very scary. But 3v2 situation going in here, and the fight for B long is going to be into the favor right now, or truly. It is going to be very easy for them to go and infiltrate as long as they stick together and not let what happened in that round earlier. They had the advantage. They have the numbers advantage, but then they just pulled. Oh, there you go. Wonderful. With a very wonderful snipe. And this is what I like to see. It's going to be one person left here for the side of NYX, and they need to go and plant already. And the rotation is going to be going through here in Alpha, but then I think it's going to be one person that might actually spot him. Wonderful! Yet again with a wonderful snipe, finally evening things out with a 1-1.
I told you this girl is absolutely cracked with the Locust. 2 rounds in, 4 kills on the board. Absolutely bringing the pain to NYX right now. Looking for another first blood if possible. Doesn't quite land the shot, but gets a lot of information to share to the team. I believe through the sniper scope there, we saw 3 players rotate A side, so definitely expect that information to get out. Can't quite find the shot, and Brixta going to come through and cleans it up for the 2 kills in favor of NYX.
NYX looking strong in this round, and 2-person is going to be very hard. 2 people down, 2 girls already down in the mix. So the 3v5 situation is not going to be favorable, but going into that B long already is going to be not so hard, just because Agabu is going to be able to get all of that, but then Pau already having that 1 kill, but then does get spotted out by Agabu with the shorty, and then it's going to be a 2-1. Now that was a very fast round, and what went wrong there is the fact that they actually go in and they over pushed, and it's basically Brix. That was Brixta's round. She was able to get 1 kill, and after that they just dropped like flies.
Yeah, definitely a pretty exciting game. This one is turning out to be way better than the search and the hardpoint did. Excuse me. Definitely glad to see some action coming through here. Lydia finds 1. Nagabu finds another. Not looking great for the side of Truly. Nagabu comes through with a double kill for the team as well. Both shorty shots miss for Brixta there, but is going to be a kill going over to Truly. Oh, you gotta win that one, Pau. I mean, I guess it is kind of a hard one to win when you get barrel stuffed, but that would have been a key decisive moment for sure.
For sure. I mean, it's always Pau that you can see that's going to be that last player. She's always the one left. And that's going to be hard. It's a lot of pressure for you. So, you know what? We'll give you that. It's okay. We're not going to be a little bit too hard, but then it's going to be an aggressive push from both of these teams. Going into Bravo, a good read from both of these teams, but Chagabu is going to be having that 1 kill, but then Pau is going to be having 2 as well. And then the counter rotation going into that Alpha flag as well. I don't know if they're going to be able to really commit, but they basically have that really heavy defense. By now, they should send 1 person over right now for the side of Truly going into Alpha, but another rotation going into mid. They shouldn't overextend or else it's going to be very difficult. Eyes are going to be on them. Wonderful is going to be having a really nice spot here. Has eyes on a lot of these angles already, but then the information does come through. She knows they are going to have that rotation, and that is why they have such solid defense right now.
Yeah, Kay does get a flash onto Lydia. Lydia still comes through with the shot, finds the kill. And that is going to be the player advantage once again in favor of NYX. They're going to get the bomb plant for their last round of search and destroy here. Does look like Lydia still opting to use the crossbow. We did see that on Tuesday. I do believe picked up 1 kill with it as well. The pick does come through for Truly. It's now a 2 versus 2. They've got about 25 seconds on the board. It's going to be Lydia missing 1 on the Storm, but finds the follow-up, and Chagabu going to find Wonderful, and that is going to be the 4-1 lead going over to NYX as we switch over to the second half.
I mean, if you were Truly, you should have just bunched up together and become a duo. And they just got picked one after another. And that is something that you need to consider if you are going to be in a disadvantage, right? And you would have that push if you were up, but then you're down 3 right now. So if they actually went in there as a duo, they could have probably gotten rid of Lydia, maybe even go for the trade for the 1v1. But you know what? Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that. And it's going to be 1 person down, though, which is going to be a good thing right now for the side of Truly. So they do have the bomb down, and oh, just as I said that, Bragaboo is going to be doing the good job at getting rid of Pau.
Yeah, big shot there. Looking for another. Storm is looking for the return, is going to find it. Like I said, The sniper talent for these girls is absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately for Storm, I don't think she saw Chagaboo's head hop up there, and where did Storm just get shot from? Was that a random wallbang from Aerith trying to shoot Kay inside of the building?
Yeah, that was like, that's just basically map awareness at its
What on earth?
Another one is
What
gonna
the heck?
gets an assist. Chagaboo is gonna be able to get rid of Storm. Oh my god, what a cheeky spot.
That was kind of nuts. I didn't even know you could shoot through that.
Well, the walls are paper thin here over in
Yeah.
firing range, and with no surprise, you see a lot of these, not only here in our girls tournament for Mobile Mayhem, but also in other regions as well, in the high tier regions. So these girls did their homework. That is absolutely crazy.
New HUD comes through with one onto Lydia. It's now a 1 versus 1 with Chagaboo. Obviously, NYX have been an absolutely cracked team. Locust in hand, not wanting to put the sniper down, is going to find a hit marker. Oh no, that feels so bad. Poor Chagaboo, almost able to clutch the round up for the team there. Gets the hit marker, and New HUD going to come through and keep the side of Truly live in this action.
Feels bad, but you know what? It happens, and Truly did a great job. So now they finally pick things up. They finally found their rhythm, but a 1v1 is something that you don't really want to end up in. That's supposed to be like a last resort type of thing. And now they're going to be a little bit more passive, just staying here in spawn and trying to see if they can actually go get a pick. Very strong defense here. We have a 2-2-1 split, and that is one thing that you really want to see. But then we can see here, Lydia is going to be overextending by just a little bit, but then does spot one, gets the information, doesn't quite commit, but that's going to be good just because you might get eliminated just like that.
Yeah, definitely. You can tell that both teams are playing a little bit cautious here because of the sniper talent that's at at play, but still anybody's game. Storm is maybe looking for the kill onto Lydia, but Lydia is obviously a scary target to face. Lydia takes one shot, misses, finds the second one though. Chagaboo gets the pistol whip, and Agaboo gets the shorty onto Wonderful. It's now a 2 versus 4. You got to be feeling good for NYX right here.
I mean, going into red, going into bathrooms, right? You know that it's going to be a jump shot haven. Lydia knows that, obviously. She's seen a lot of that. We've seen a lot of that. So having to do that over and over again, that is absolutely madness. If you don't hit the shot once or twice, best believe you need to find a new angle because you already know that Lydia knows that you're there. So having to go there back again and again, it was basically their demise and could have had that opening shot. If Lydia went down, that was supposed to be a round win going into that rotation, going into alpha, but sadly playing for picks for them just didn't really work out. So again, another passive push going in here, but then it's going to be very difficult for them just because you see the overextension going in right now from the side of NYX.
Chagaboo finds one, Lydia finds another, but Wonderful does get the refrag onto Lydia. This is a big opportunity for Truly. They do have a player disadvantage. As I say that, Nagaboo comes through with a shorty kill onto Truly K. Not a great position for them to be in, especially down a couple rounds. New HUD gonna find one. New HUD gonna find two before getting picked off by Aerith. It's now Wonderful in a 2 versus 1, and Aerith gonna find the final shot there. 6-2 win going over to NYX. And I gotta say that was probably the most one-sided game that we've seen so far in this girls-only tournament.
I mean, no, not really. It's not. From day number 1, we truly gave a little bit of a fight here. I'll be honest. NYX actually went against Arsenal girls, and I feel like Arsenal had a harder time because in Hardpoint they did get a 150 and 25 in Summit, and for S&D they got a 6-0.
That's true.
So,
I forgot
yeah,
that
right?
that match was so unfortunate. Yeah,
So,
you're not
it was
wrong.
Also in firing range, so it's a very scary team to go up against. Like NYX in firing range, that is absolutely scary. So for Truly to get 2. That's pretty impressive already.
Yeah, it definitely didn't feel at any point like NYX didn't have things under control, right? Nagaboo coming through with a solid 11 kills, Aerith and Chels as well with 8 apiece. Brickstead down at 3, but I mean, that felt largely because Nagaboo was just filling up the feed, and so was Aerith and Chels as well. So, great game between these two teams here. I do have the scoreboard here for you guys. Not a bad performance from Truly, but again, they just did not find any sort of momentum in any rounds. Even the rounds that they won, one of them was based off of a hit marker, right? So it was definitely not a comfortable matchup. And yeah, that's going to be NYX picking up their second win here in Mobile Mayhem Girls. That's going to put them up to 40 points up with Honeybees. And I definitely got to say I'm pretty excited for the next one. We're going to have Op 34 up against ARP. So two of those teams that struggled on day one that I feel like might bring a good level of competition here for Game 3. But I do believe we're going to take a short break, and we will be back here in a moment, guys. All right, guys, we are back for more of the action. We're going to have Operation 34 up against ARP Celeste. And again, both of these teams struggled on day one, as you were mentioning. Obviously, ARP struggled quite a bit.
Actually,
Or no,
they
it's
didn't
AR. No, it's
struggle.
AR. It was AR that struggled.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Um,
ARP did good.
Yeah, ARP did good. You're right. You're right. I got my teams backwards there. It is the second day casting, so like let me. I got to remember who's on what team.
Warm up first.
Yeah. So we'll get you guys into the action as soon as we can. ARP obviously had a great performance. I believe Kira almost nuked on Tuesday. It was getting pretty close, so that'll be fun to keep our eye out on that one. Up against Operation 34, which is going to be one of the teams that did struggle, but I gotta say, Shorty was absolutely cracked with the DLQ, was hitting some crazy flick shots, and I'm definitely excited for the Search and Destroy because I feel like we saw less sniping talent on the ARP. I feel like in the Search and Destroy, they basically just straight ran it through mid, right? They had a great performance, and I feel like Shorty might be a big advantage for Op 34 when we move into the second match, but I do have a pretty distinct thought that ARP probably gonna be doing pretty solid in the hardpoint. Again, we had, I think, 2 players like almost double positive, if not over double positive for them. So we're gonna go ahead and hop on. Over to the map picks and bans so that we can get that information to you guys and get the game started. As you guys can see, our first match of the night, or well, first match of this series is going to be Raid on Hardpoint, which I believe is one of the more gun action-filled Hardpoint maps that we've got.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be so exciting to actually see Raid and Hardpoint. We've been seeing it already today, so it's not something new. So going in here, we've been having classic maps after classic maps, and firing range is going to be our S&D as well. And hopefully, this is going to be that game where we actually go ahead and get our domination, because I want to see Takeoff. Like, I want to get my hands on Takeoff just because of how much I actually love this map. But you know what? A lot of things into consideration here. I think this is going to be a little bit more of an evenly matched game, just because one team is good at respawn and one team is really good in S&D. But hopefully we get to see game number 3 here.
Yeah, sorry about the music there, guys. I did forget to turn that off. But we've got it off for the game, and we're going to go ahead and hop on into it. It's Op 34, it's ARP Celeste, and we are in for our hard point on Raid. Definitely going to be keeping our eye out for Cammy and Kira because they were absolutely nuts, but it's Atsagod coming through with a big double kill off the back, actually onto those 2-star players from ARP.
Doing such damage, and it's going to be 10 points going into this first hard point. But yes, it's going to be contested just like that, so it's not going to be that easy for them. But just like that, it's going to be really a lot of gunfights already ensuing. So again, like what we've been saying, this is going to be a little bit more evenly matched. So ARP doing a good job at actually going and breaking in the hill. So going into the rotation as well, you can already see that we will see one person going into laundry. You need that laundry control, but they're actually going to lose that.
Yeah, big unfortunate scenario there, but ARP, they have found themselves quite a bit of time on the hill. There's a lot of head glitch opportunity on the rocks here mid, and as we go into P2, it will be about a 10-point lead going over to ARP, who are now making the rotation over to Kitchen, and Shorty is looking to make the push up. I feel like I would have liked to see them wait for their team a little bit more there, but are going to pick one before getting traded out. As we do look, we actually have a great rotation coming out of Op 34. They're pushing jungle, looking for those spawns, and as you can see, ARP are spawning out. This is such a great opportunity for Op 34 right now.
Yeah, absolutely. They're doing such a good job at the rotation. Not only that, getting power positions as well. So this is going to be so impressive. They're getting a lot of points. 26 and 30, that's not going to be a big deal. But Kitchen, they're doing such a great hold at a point where it's actually really hard to go and defend. So big kills going in here. Shorty does the job, though, and ARP seems to be like they're going in and going to break the hill. Finally gets it, and the rotation does come through for them as well. So 2 players already going to the money hill, and that's going to be so nice to see. Not only that, they're also getting a lot of these points, but it's going to be contested, and the scrap points are going to be going right now for Op 34, and the rotation needs to go in. One person just needs to be there.
And as you can see, a great rotation coming over out of ARP. They went ahead and went over for their control onto Garage. Kira in the corner, gonna find a hit marker with the shorty, picks one, but does lose out to the Death Machine there. We do have a couple players spawning out now. Oh, there's no way you can let Mask it out. There's no way, right? Does clean it up. Carla spawns behind, gets the kill. It does look like we have a pretty sizable break for the side of Op34. Adza coming through with one before getting dropped. ARP pushing through for the recontest, but it is going to be Carla with the kinetic armor coming through with a kill there, and the retake does fail for the side of Op34, and they are not looking to be in a good spot right now. Definitely like that they are just dragging on back, looking for that control of basketball court at this point. We do have Elizabeth from Op34 pushing up, but it's a 2 versus 1. Gonna win the trade there, and actually gets a pretty poor respawn. I definitely think Elizabeth should be making their way over towards point now. That was 1 on the map for anybody that was wondering. And right now, we do have a pretty great position for the side of Op34. They've got basketball court, they've got spawns. They just need to win the gunfights. Elizabeth comes through, almost able to find one. We'll have to see if Adzagod can find it. Unfortunately, no. And this might be a big opportunity for Op34. The cluster strike is coming in. Kira gonna find one.
That cluster strike was just a little bit too early. They should have just saved that. No one was there. No one was actually going in for this contest. And yes, maybe they did it for like precautionary measures, but no, that's a little bit too cautious. And that basically gave them the break. They didn't get anyone from that cluster strike. This is the point where they should have actually pulled it down. But no, even though that they actually had that early rotation going in here, ARP just waited outside into the front door and just came in barging without even knocking, and eventually getting this hard point. 157. But you know what? It's still very impressive. Op34 was able to actually break that third hill and really go into that early rotation, and now the scrap points. But it's going to be so hard because they need to use their utilities and their score streaks well.
As we rotate on over to mid here, this is definitely a hard one to break. Oh, Elizabeth does pop the kinetic armor, still loses the gunfight to the Holger there. Marzitos, 9 on the board, has the Death Machine in hand, finds one, looking for another, able to find Fur as well. This is a big opportunity for Op34 to get on the point. Death Machine gonna run out, and the Hunter Killer is out. That's typically speaking a free kill, and it is gonna pick up Mass there. And Op34 have a great opportunity right now to tie things up, but Fur comes through with a big double kill, making a triple kill actually with the Death Machine, and ARP have found their ground once again.
ARP doing such a good job at the response, and they're not letting anyone actually go in their way. But then, just as I said that, scrap points are going to be going down, so that's going to be good for Op34. They're going to be getting this hill. A lot of points they actually got here, but the rotation is going to be there as well. Top launcher control, you can see they also have that Elizabeth is going to be into position, but right behind them is going to be a very cheeky shot from the back, and it's going to be interesting how they can actually go and pull through. Elizabeth should not have left her spot instead of actually having her back turn, and eventually we can see here it's going to be a very interesting break. But yes, they have a very solid hold here, but for how long? Just because top launcher control is going to be absolutely essential.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure why, but Fur from ARP had laundry control and then dropped down and died. 26 kills on the board. It's not like they're doing bad or anything, but it definitely felt like a PowerPoint position where they ended up falling off and had a big opportunity where they could have pulled together some streaks. So unfortunately not going to pick that one up. Finds one, finds two mid, and that's a big couple picks for ARP. That might actually be enough for them to lock down the win. We do have a kill coming through for Carla, and that one might just be it. Shorty comes through, finds one, but drops on off from there, and that's going to be the 105 to 150 win going over to the side of ARP.
See, this is why you need to get those power positions. And there's so many moments of brilliance of OP, okay? There were so many points where they actually were able to pull through. In OP34, they were able to get points in the third hill. That was the point where I was, actually, you know what? They can win this because they broke a hill that was so like hard to break. We keep saying that it's going to be that money hill, right? And they were able to go in there for the full rotation, and eventually they didn't get a lot of points, no, but they were able to contest a few seconds there, which is so hard to do. And eventually going into that early rotation into basketball court, that was impressive to me as well. But then when I thought it was going to be impressive, that cluster strike, that timing, that just threw them off. They could have just used that cluster strike when there was actually going to be players from ARP going into the hill, but sadly that just didn't happen. So it just took one cluster strike to have the ball rolling downhill again for the side of OP34.
Yeah, definitely a great game for both of these teams, as you mentioned. A big push from OP34 was able to get a break onto Garage, even if only for temporarily to deny some of those points. And I do gotta say, the utility accuracy from OP34 was actually pretty nuts. Their concussions were constantly hitting, but I didn't feel anybody capitalizing on those disabled targets, right? There was one point where on cam, I think I literally watched Fur get smacked with like 4 concussions in a row, and nobody to kill her. Ended up getting up, did die, but got 1 kill with the shorty before she died, or an assist with the shorty before she died, so I would like to, hopefully get more comms out of Op34, which, that reminds me, I forgot we're supposed to be doing listen-ins, and I totally dropped the ball. But we'll try to get those in, guys. I'm just really bad at it. There's still a lot going on my end of things. But yeah, definitely got to have those call-outs, because if you know where you threw your concussion, you should be able to call out, hey, I've got somebody concussed behind the barricade here in mid, and that person should not be alive for 10 seconds to come through and help their team get another kill to clear you off point. So hoping we'll see more out of OP34 in that aspect. We are just getting the teams swapped over, and we'll get you guys into the next matchup, or the next game of this matchup, which will actually be another firing range search and destroy. So definitely a map that we've seen a lot of tonight, and
Well, we haven't seen that one before, right?
Yeah.
But firing range seems to be like search and destroy. They really like to play it in firing range. So it's interesting to see how other teams played here. Yeah, we keep seeing it over and over, but the different tactics, the different plays that they actually go and use. And you actually had like a really good insight. It's like when you're going to be throwing a stun, and we like to call it a stun check. When you throw it into an angle where you don't know if someone's going to be there, and finally that little X in the middle of your screen, either you push there after knowing that someone's going to be there, or are you going to just leave it alone? Okay, there's one person there. I'm going to be rotating to the next probably angle where you can actually go and get a better view of things. So that's what's important. And we see with a lot of more inexperienced teams where they just keep throwing random nades, and at the very end of the match you don't have any more utilities. So it's impressive to see here. We've seen it in firing range. We've seen it all, wall bangs after wall bangs.
Yeah, definitely going to be an exciting match to get into. Again, I think one of the I think the biggest factor that we have for the side of OP34 right now is the teamwork, is the utility placement, as well as, again, Shorty was absolutely cracked with the sniper, whereas on ARP, we didn't really see anybody pull out the sniper. I'm not saying that they don't have anybody that can. I'm just saying that we haven't seen it on screen yet, so I don't have anybody to compare it to. So Shorty could potentially be a really big advantage for OP34, could find some early picks, and maybe they're able to turn things around in the search and destroy, because again, they found some great opportunities to capitalize in points in that hard point, and again, ended up being a 105 to 150 win, so it was not a blowout game. It was another game where the hard point actually, in a matter of just 1 or 2 gunfights, could have turned that around. So we'll be keeping our eye out as things go on. It does look like we maybe have a substitution coming in for the side of OP34. Zia Bibi. So possibly Zia's girlfriend or something? I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe a
Zia's
fangirl? I don't know.
Zia mi bibi. Are we going to be seeing some beef mommy mi bibi? Or maybe some day mi bibi? Hopefully we get to see that, and if you can change your names, please do so. And screenshot it, send it over to us. But yeah, with all seriousness, search and destroy going in here, ARP looks so solid. Just because of going against Zygnus, they actually gave them a donut. So a search and destroy team for sure they're going to be, especially with Carla going to be on their team. But with OP34, they did lose it against Honeybees. So
I don't know. It's not going to be looking good for the side of Op34. Hardpoint was supposed to be the matchup where they can actually go and, you know, pull through all the points and maybe even win that respawn. But S&D seems to be like ARP, that's their game.
Yeah, definitely a big opportunity for Op34 here. Again, my eyes are going to be on Shorty, hoping to get an advantage for the team in the early stages. Gotta say, Zygnus' gun skill, though, was actually really solid on the side of Op34 as well. And as we move into Search and Destroy, where you've only got one life, winning a couple more of those gunfights could definitely bring them a lot of favors to the team. So could potentially be an opportunity where we see possibly a game 3. We might get a domination here. It would be definitely a difficult one with the way ARP has played these past 2 days, but I'm hoping for it. Definitely fingers crossed. And as you guys can hear, the admin's spamming away at the start button, just waiting on Shorty to get her stuff together. And we'll get you guys into the game as soon as we possibly can.
I'm excited for this, and this is where I want to see a game number 3. We haven't had any sort of domination happen here so far, but it is going to be just day number 2, game 3. So hopefully we get to see a takeoff, because I just really want to see that. And I know it's only been our 3rd matchup of the day, and we still have like one more after this. But domination, I just really need it. Okay, so. How about you, Day? Out of all of the matches that we've seen here so far, do you think this matchup can bring us into a domination match?
I would say it has the most potential to so far. I mean, obviously, we still have one more match here tonight. Oh, and I'm on the wrong screen. Let me get over. There we go. We're in the action for you guys. I would definitely say this has the most potential to go to a game 3, but it is largely going to rely on Shorty again, getting some early picks, because ARP across the board have just won more of their gunfights. And again, in a game mode where you've only got one life for that round, winning those gunfights is incredibly crucial. But at least on the side of Op34, as I mentioned earlier, you at least get that fresh reset. Even if you go down in round 1 or go down 2 rounds, you have plenty of opportunity where you can turn things around. So we'll be keeping our eye out. I actually want to look real quick and see if ARP has any snipers. Does look like Azula is sniping. I think we saw her snipe a little bit on Tuesday, but I don't remember it being like just a great performance. Maybe I'm wrong. It was a long time ago, but
it's been a long day. There's been a lot of fights, but actually, you know what? I can actually take a look if she actually did a good job. No, I think she was in the bottom. Yeah, from what I know, Azula was the one that she kind of struggled like just a little bit. But hopefully we get to see Fire Lord Azula really rise up from the flames and just get everyone in her way, right? Get rid of the Avatar. But here we go. It's going to be a very interesting start. One person already down right now from the side of Op34, and that's going to be very difficult as the bomb is going to be fully planted soon. They shouldn't wait a little bit longer, but Akira, yet again, doing such an amazing job at already fragging out not only in respawns and also in S&D as well.
Yeah, absolutely fragging out, and as we see there, ARP coming through with a solid win. Like I said, Op34 have a big opportunity to push us on in, but we are going to have to wait and see what they're able to pull together. Again, Shorty finding a first blood would be absolutely ideal. I'd like to see her take a little bit more of an aggressive opening pick position, maybe look for those crossing street players a little bit earlier on. We do have bullets in the air, but nothing really finding anywhere to connect right now. Hop on over to Fur. Has the bomb, does know that Zygnus is in the corner there in trailer, but we'll have to see if they're able to pull together and to pick up a kill. Again, a team that gets a first blood here will likely start to see a bit more aggression out of early on. And a slow-paced game between both of these teams right now. Carla finding some bullets, but is going to be the player making it out alive. Definitely going to be some information shared for both of these teams. And as you can see, neither team really comfortable pushing up at this point.
Yeah, there's going to be very passive for both of these teams, which is going to be good actually, because the solid defense in trailer is absolutely essential, and they have that. So the fact that they have that solid hold going in there, which is going to stop the plant. But then all they need to do is to just win all of those gunfights and finally gets one, but then does get traded out. It's going to be a 4v4 situation, but then not for too long, as the pressure is going to be going down, and it's going to be yet again
Yeah, Carla already with such big kills, 2 already to her name, Fur as well. So the Holger 26 already in hand is going to be really interesting as the plant is going to be going down. Pressure already on right now for the side of OP. So all they need to do is just go in for that solid defense.
Yeah, definitely not a great position for Op34 to be in. They're fighting against the clock as well as they are down players. Does look like Fur going to come through with the pick onto Elizabeth, and again, Shorty, if they were going to have an impact on these rounds, it was most likely going to be early on. I don't see an 18-second clutch happening. Does find one onto Fur, slides on in, finds Cammy as well, but we are running out of time. 10 seconds to go. Needs to find the kill on Carla and get the defuse. Can't quite win the gunfight, and that's going to be Carla clutching up what should never have been the position that they were in for ARP.
Yeah, and honestly, I like seeing that with a team that where you're going to be at a disadvantage, you're still going to win that. So that's going to be absolutely scary. And ARP already showing everyone very much why they're going to be one of the best S&D teams. The only team next to NYX to actually give a 6-0. So that's not going to be an easy feat. And for the side of Operation 34, that's going to be absolutely difficult. But then Azula already getting another kill. That is absolutely crazy. She is hungry for some blood.
Yeah, definitely a great start to the round. It is going to leave Shorty in the 1 versus 3 once again, and I just don't see it happening. Fortunately, the bomb is not planted, so Shorty was almost able to clutch up the last one. She's got a little bit more time on deck to play with. Maybe can make it happen. The grenade comes in, gets a hit marker, but not quite enough to pick up the kill on Azula. Azula's up on out of there, and Shorty once again in a situation where she's got 40 seconds on the clock. She's got 3 enemies alive and needs to find some way to make it work. Otherwise, it is going to be Op34 down in a 0-3 situation. We do have a big rotation through mid coming through for Azula right now. Trying to get the pinch onto Shorty. Shorty's pushing up. Has a Shorty in hand as well. But again, 15 seconds on the clock. Can't find a single enemy to kill, and that's just not going to be good. Finds one, might be looking for another, turns away, and the Shorty coming through takes Shorty down.
Kira already writing on her death note, just taking them out one by one, all by the Shorty. So imagine that, if you're going to be writing on your death note, you're going to die via Shorty. I can already just imagine that. But hey, a really strong start. And without any surprise, ARP is going to be absolutely on fire. A very passive approach going over here. They're going to be just staying here in Woodhouse, going into B-Long as well, getting that information, playing for picks. That's what they need to do, and that's what I like to see for the side of ARP, is that they don't really get too aggressive, but then when they have to, they always just deliver, especially when you have a sniper like Azula on your side as well.
Yeah, definitely have some big opportunities here. Neither team able to find the first blood right now, but if you look, Kira is rotating up, might run into a difficult position. That's going to be one picked up. Carla does get the refrag, looking for another, can't quite find the double kill, and almost drops herself as well. Ooh, Azula does come through with another kill onto Shorty there, but Shorty was able to pick up Fur first, and I feel like that's a really, really solid trade for Shorty, because Fur has been absolutely cracked here today.
Yeah, absolutely, and Fur does a good job at always getting that refrag in the trades, and they're going to be having a very interesting defense here. I feel like they shouldn't have stacked Woodhouse. I don't know why. Knowing very well that the rotation is going into Alpha already, that information should have been with them already. And now the clock is going to be going down to 40 seconds, and they're still not going in for the rotation. Come on, rotate already, just because the clock is going to be dwindling down just like that.
Azula finds a big pick onto Zia right there. A big opportunity now, but it is going to be the refrag coming through for Adzagad. They've only got 15 seconds to find a couple kills and a defuse, and I just, once again, I don't know if it's going to happen. The 1-for-1 trade comes in. Oh, that feels so bad. If the kill came through right then and there, maybe, but Cammy is absolutely mad cracked. Comes through, clutching up the 4th round for ARP. This will be the last round of ARP defense. So we'll have to see if Op34 are able to put a little bit of a stop to the momentum. But ARP might potentially be looking at a 6-0 search win here if they keep this up.
OP. You know, Op34 just had that late rotation going into that final seconds of that matchup. They should have gone in there, like we keep saying, that was some reluctance that we saw here. But then, speaking of reluctance, we're not going to be seeing it here as Sia is going to be having that opening pick. Very important kills here. There needs to be a heavy stack. They keep stacking Woodhouse. It's going to be there. So going for the rotation, the pinch is going to ensue. Now, this is going to be a tricky spot, and I already know that it's probably going to be Op34's side already because the pinch is going to be ensuing unless by some reason they still lose their gunfights.
Shorty able to pick up 2, found Azula and Wood, finds Carla with the sniper as well. Cammy now looking to challenge. Oh, how did that one not hit? That was like right between the eyes, but
yeah, it was right there.
Cammy is going to be alive. This is the best round that we've had for Op34 so far. They've got a 5-2 lead right now.
Absolutely right. And the pinch did come along. I thought they were going to stay in Woodhouse again and really just linger there a little bit too long, but it's a good thing they actually went in for the rotation. But Kira is going to be able to actually get rid of Elizabeth. But Kira, yet again, is going to be 1-2v1 situation. And I feel like we just spoke a little bit too soon here.
Yeah, definitely a big round. Kira finds 2 there, but it is going to be Zia coming through with the final kill. It is going to put a little bit of a stunt on the momentum that we had going for ARP. But ARP, they've got a super comfortable lead going into the second half. They're up 4-1. They've got the opportunity to play defense here. And it is going to be an uphill battle for the side of Op34 for sure. Shorty got the trophy system down, looking to push up, maybe finds a pick with the sniper here. We saw some crazy flicks out of her on Tuesday, but nobody going to challenge on the heady barrel. In fact, I don't think anybody's seen anybody yet, so I don't know if we've really got any information either, aside from that concuss comes through, as you were mentioning before, those stun checks. Kira gonna find 2. Absolutely no reason Kira wins that gunfight. Does pick up the double. We have Fur picking up 1 as well. Looks like they might re-challenge. Finds the double, and man, Op34 just fell apart there. Cammy comes through with the kill onto Elizabeth as well. 5-1 lead now in favor of ARP. Looking to close this one out fast in a 2-0.
And we are at game point. One more round needed for ARP to get another win. And hopefully, we're going to be seeing a sweep. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's going to take a lot of effort, for sure. I'm not going to, lay out my cards yet and say it's already game over, because I've seen a lot of things in Call of Duty Mobile. We've been here a while, so hopefully we get to see it here to have that reverse sweep, hopefully. But oh, there you go. This is the start that we needed. It's going to be the Sebas, going to be getting Fur, and Fur is going to be that high fragger that you want to get rid of. So that was smart, engaging that gunfight, getting one person, but then they need to move. They need to move quick. If they become a little bit too passively, like what they've been doing the past few rounds, they might actually lose this.
Azula and Shorty were right next to each other there. Nobody going to see, but as we rotate over, it might come through. Does look like Shorty has hopped up mid. I don't know if she heard Azula push, though. She might not have any idea.
The information wasn't there. I think they were walking. I'm pretty sure the audio cue should have been there, but then it just didn't really happen. It's going to be a stalemate. Take a look at the map. Take a look at B long. Now, that is going to absolutely be crazy if we see 2 players just push up. And that one player, that's going to be essential right now for the side of Sebas yet again. There you go. There you go, Sebas. No! It's just absolutely insane. Tommy's going to be able to get rid of him, but then Elizabeth with big kills. Oh, 34, not out quite yet.
Shorty with a beautiful quick scope there coming through, going to help the team stay in this one. Finds 2. It has 9 on the board. Again, Shorty definitely going to be the deciding factor for Op34 as this season continues. Again, there's a lot of money on the line for this tournament. It is a 4-week-long tournament for $2,000, so these teams definitely coming through. Shorty finds another, puts kill 10 on the board, looking for 11, can't find the second Shorty shot. Kira, my goodness, finds a triple kill. Fur gets the refrag onto Sabas, but it is going to be Fur coming through, cleans up the win, 6-2, going over in favor of ARP, who close it out in a 2-0 victory here tonight.
Man, I was really hoping that Shadi was gonna get like another kill. Shadi pare. Gosh, she was so cracked. She's so amazing with that sniper. But unfortunately for her,
everyone else in her team just kind of struggled, and you can't just be the one carrying all of your teammates. So everyone else on ARP though is absolutely crazy as well. You got Fur, you got Kira, you got Kami as well. So everyone's doing their job. And right now for the side of Op 34, it's just shorty. It's the shorty game. It's the shorty show where she's absolutely cracked, but that was just unfortunate to see.
Yeah, definitely a big effort for Shorty. Like I said, definitely going to be the deciding factor for Op 34 going into Search. I mentioned if she's able to get any picks, they stand a chance. And even with a bunch of opening picks, even with a bunch of three pieces, wasn't able to pull together the win. So maybe next time for Op 34. But ARP are going to pick themselves up another 20 points. So we're going to hop over to the standings for now, which do appear to all... As you guys can see, we've got, so far, ARP Celeste, Honeybees, and Nyx up at the top with 40 points. We've got Carnage Girls, who did lose their matchup earlier at 20. They won on Tuesday, but lost here today. And Arsenal, Op 34, Truly, and Zygnus all unable to find points, but Zygnus are in our next matchup. And I gotta say, that's one that I am super hyped for, because Zygnus and Arsenal are two orgs in the scene that have a absolute eye for talent. And obviously someone's going to leave here with points, Beefmami.
Yeah, exactly. And for Arsenal girls and Zygnus girls, they've been struggling this competition so far, and that's why it's so interesting to see them actually go and play against each other. Just because they've been, by struggle, I meant they've been really struggling. In Search and Destroy, both of these teams have been 6-0'd. For Arsenal, though, it seems to be like Hardpoint is a little bit tougher on their end, just because they went up against, NYX. So it was a 150 and 25 in Summit for them. But for Zygnus, it was a little bit closer actually, which is a little bit more impressive. They went against Carnage and they did lose that, but not by a huge margin, 115 and 150 in Summit. So if they go again in here in Summit yet again, hopefully they have some sort of revenge, just because they know they don't want to be at the very bottom of the pack here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So we will get into that next one for you guys as soon as we can. We are going to take a short break. We've got a Battle Pass trailer for you guys, and then we'll get players into the lobby and get ready to go. In fact, the admins are already rocking and rolling on that. So we'll be back as soon as we can for you guys. All right, guys, we are back for our final matchup of the night. Sorry about the short break that we needed to take a minute there, but we are going to have Zygnus up against Arsenal for our last match of the night, and I definitely got to say, I'm excited about this one because both of these teams had players that I was really excited about on Tuesday's match. Fatal, Jules had some really good performance. Heaven, Yachty, Floji from Zygnus as well. So I feel like this could be a really exciting match. And as well, both of these teams were teams that struggled to get on the board on Tuesday. So it'll be a big deciding factor for these guys, or girls rather, who's going to come out and pick up some points and jump out of that last place spot. So a lot on the line for these two teams, and I'm here for it. I'm ready. We're going to... Oh, they're ready to go, so we're going to go ahead and grab the screen real quick. I'll fly through it. We'll get you guys into the game. Sorry to cut you off, Beef Mommy. We're going to have Hardpoint Raid. We're going to have Search and Destroy on Firing Range again. I can't believe that has been 4 games in a row. But if we make it, we'll have a Summit Domination. Actually, this is updated. So we just have the same thing going on. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into the game, guys. This is Zygnus versus Arsenal. And another exciting Mobile Mayhem Girls matchup.
Yes, let's go. Who run the world, girls? And we just get to see how strong these women are today. And it's going to be a very strong start going right now from the side of AR. And, you know, Arsenal, they've been having such a
great time. But sadly, they did go up against such strong teams, and sadly for them, it's just up against, I don't know, NYX. But you know what? I think Arsenal can actually definitely do this. It's definitely not going to be easy, just because you can see the retake already happening here. The contest is going to be going down, though, so the rotation is going to be absolutely key in about 10 seconds. But it's a good thing we can see that AR has a hold of that power position that we like to keep saying, everyone. Every broadcast that I actually say, every time you're in raid, always get top laundry for domination or for hardpoint.
Yeah, it's definitely the strong side here, but a good rotation over from the side of Zygnus. They might be able to anchor themselves some spawns for Kitchen, which isn't really a super easy point to break, but it could definitely be one that's hard to get control of. As we see, Yachty comes through, finds their first kill, finds a double. FloG mid gonna find a double as well, and this is a great opportunity where Zygnus might be able to bring it back. They might be able to take a lead off this point through the smoke. Yachty's gonna find Yachty finds 2, Yachty finds 3. Beef Mommy, she's cracked.
Absolutely crazy, Yachty. Big kills already. 5 kills just like that. And not only that, she's also getting a lot of these points. Gets a 4th. Will she get a 5th? No. Yes, she does get a 5th. Yachty is going to be absolutely unstoppable. Gets a 6th. It's
full streaks.
Oh my god, full streaks already, and we're only in the second hard point. Crazy day.
Yachty is darn near halfway to a nuke, gets up 1, but Rosie gonna come through and it picks up the kill there, gonna knock Yachty off, but Yachty has full streaks. We're gonna have a Goliath for the garage transition, which is absolutely huge for the side of AR or Zygnus, I mean.
Oh my goodness, day. That was absolutely crazy, that gunfight. This is why the whole Garish is so absolutely just cracked, and she just proved to every single one of us. And the rotation does come through, though. Even though we saw an early rotation going inside of AR, they weren't able to really go and utilize that. You see the whole squad going right now into the money hill. Zygnus doing so well. They already have a lot of their score sheets just because of one person. One person just did that much damage, and 63 and 36, yeah, that's not going to be that big of a deal. You just need to go and contest and contest and contest. And at this point, we need to see some operator skills, or else that would have been a little bit of a waste for them to actually go and not use. But again, it's going to be very hard just because we see already a sentry gun just going in for that heavy defense.
Yeah, Quick Fix, a really strong perk in the meta, definitely helping a couple of these multi-kills come through in a big way. Vodka able to come through with a big double kill. I would have liked to see Zygnus get the Goliath down here, but unfortunately Yachty, after having a great hill on P2, couldn't get close enough, couldn't get control to get the Goliath ready to go. As we see Heaven here, this seems like an early pop on the Sparrow.
Early pops and early drops, and I don't know if it's going to be really good for them. Yes, they're going to be clearing out a lot of the points already, but you can see the pinch already ensuing right now for the side of AR, and even though they didn't get their operator skills out, they still got that. You got to win those gunfights, and she did, and it's all jeweled, it's all rosy, and it's going to be absolutely crazy, especially now. This is how you use a cluster strike here in basketball. You see all the players right now going in there. AR is just absolutely cracked. They've been doing such a good job, and even though that they did get a lot of kills, it didn't really matter right now just because AR is doing such a good job. But then an airstrike of their own. Not quite sure if this was the smartest thing to do, just because you should have just saved that for the last point, for the last hard point. They're not even stepping on the hard point. Yes, the contest is going to be going down, but they probably should have had that communication within one another and just to step on the hard point. But then, you know what, that was a wasted cluster.
Yeah, definitely felt like a rough one to use, and again, now we're stuck in a position where the Goliath is a little bit dangerous to use on the next hardpoint, and they might have to, just off the fact that AR could come through with a win, but on these open exposed hardpoints, you can't really camp a Goliath on it. There's so much opportunity for explosives to come through. You could have your RPGs, excuse me, a Pred missile, a cluster strike, a hunter killer drone can come through and take down a Goliath. So it is going to be a rough call for Yachty. As you can see, still has the Pred, still has the Goliath in the deck here. Rosie going to come through with a big double with the Sparrow before dropping, so that's a big opportunity. But like I said, Zygnus, this is a rough spot to call in the Goliath. It looks like they're going to use it for P1. I don't know how much I love this decision, because again, it's a very exposed point. They could camp it up in Laundry, but that doesn't give you an anchor on point.
Yeah, that's true. But this is good. I've seen this before. You pull out a Goliath into P1, but I feel like the Goliath should have been in P5 helping
There's
out
too
with
much
all
cover
those folks,
here.
right? Exactly, there's so much cover, but then, you know, you can see the brilliance that's gonna happen here. If they do it well, if they probably put a trophy system right beside Yadi right now, they should probably do that because they might get wins, and just like that, you can see that heavy defense already, the artillery already going in their favor. Yadi and Top Laundry is going to be absolutely cracked. They all need to just look behind them and just give Yadi all of the kills, and that will basically give them and rack them up all the points that they need to get.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and do a quick hop in with Zygnus girls who look like they might be able to make the comeback, so stick by for that.
Punto, 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 con nivelador, con nivelador, con nivelador. Bueno.
Creo que es a mí, creo. No, escaleras Londres.
Pilar muerta, escaleras de Londres.
Vuelta.
Le llega.
Le llega otra.
Entró otra.
Ya estoy en la siguiente. Ya.
En la van.
Aquí todas juntas.
Yo estoy aquí ya.
Están en carretilla muerta.
Dos.
No, me explotaron.
All right, guys, as you can hear, the comms are so on point for Zygnus, getting those calls out for the objective, but they have made a bit of a comeback, not quite enough for them to take the lead, but a big opportunity. Heaven comes through with a great shot from the Sparrow, gonna find one, but Rosie's there to clean it out.
Oh, it's just, I hope I get to actually see all of the action just going in here. And that was such an amazing call. I really like to hear the comms of all of these girls really pull through. And I honestly couldn't understand a thing. But you know what? It doesn't really matter just because of how well they already use their comms. So that's what's important here, right? Is the fact that you need to go in there, get all of your comms, make sure that they're actually understandable. Unlike one, I remember like the infamous call that we actually had for Tribe. It's not something like that. We don't see it here.
Yeah, and I actually gotta say, I'm a little disappointed that Zygnus didn't get a lot of points on that P1 rotation. The Goliath was alive in Laundry for so long, but like I said, the amount of cover on that P1 just made it really difficult to clear everybody out. There was a lot of opportunity where the side of Arsenal was able to rotate in, get on the back side of Statue, and the Goliath just couldn't help from there. And AR actually won a lot of time contested on that hill. That should have been 50 points for Zygnus, and they just could not lock down the point control. I do still think they ended up getting like 30, but oh, I gotta get the screen share back up here. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I definitely expected a bit more out of Zygnus on that P1. Couldn't quite pull it together. Yachty was so cracked at 34-20. But couldn't quite get the team that win. As you can see, the rest of the team was struggling quite a bit behind. About 10 kills negative for most of the players. Zom only about 4. You look over at AR, and Vodka was doing just as much work as Yachty, if not more, at 35-16. Rosie coming through with the MVP with a minute 21 objective time, leading the lobby there. So excellent game coming out of AR. Zygnus put up a great fight, though. And admin, I do believe... Oh, it's because it's switched for the next game. Never mind. You guys are good.
Yeah, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Zygnus gave such an amazing game. And at first, I actually thought, okay, they might struggle here, especially with Yadi. But then she was able to get how many kills? I think it was 7 kills in a row. That was absolutely just crazy, and it's correct. And the fact that she was able to get that... One moment that I kind of was just a little bit reluctant was the fact that they couldn't really use their score streaks to their advantage. And we keep seeing it. We keep seeing the cluster strike, the bad cluster strike. We saw the 2 cluster strikes, one good and one bad, all right next to each other. So one really good for the side of AR. They were able to flush out players inside of Zygnus, but for Zygnus, they put that a little bit too late. Should have saved it to P5. And not only that, should have had the raining missiles and also with the Goliath as well, and eventually move into that P1, just because we've seen it already before, and sadly they weren't able to really utilize the score streaks of Yadi, and efforts a little bit wasted. And you can already see here, it was Yadi just pulling in a lot of those kills already. So again, this is a team effort. it's not just like a one-man show. Yes, one person can make a difference, but everyone else needs to go and pull through.
Yeah, and as you guys can see, we are rocking and rolling, getting into the next game. So we are here for it. It's going to be Search and Destroy once again on firing range. So definitely a interesting one here. I don't think I've ever seen 4 straight in a row of the same map, but sometimes that's just the way it rolls. And I got to say, this is not a bad map to have if you're going to have it multiple times. I'd rather see this than Crossfire, okay? Like we're here for the firing range.
Hey, come on, give some up for Crossfire. I really like it, just because of how hard it is. Okay, I don't like it for domination, just because we already know Charlie's gonna be absolutely crazy. But then Jules with an opening pick, absolutely crazy, already setting the tone for her team. Arsenal already onto a good start.
Yeah, Flo G is going to come through with a refrag. Was looking for the kill onto Vodka as well, but couldn't quite find the shot to land. We'll have to see, as we do have a pretty slow but aggressive rotation coming out of Arsenal towards the A side bomb. Goblin going to come through with 1. We have Yachty locking it down mid for the team. Pushes through. Can't quite find the bullets to connect. Oh, how unfortunate there. It is going to be left alone for Fatal to clutch this one up. And with 3 players guarding that defuse and only 1 Fatal, that's going to be a bomb defuse. That's going to be a round going over to the side of Zygnus. And they need that here so bad.
Yeah, they do. And Yachty had the opportunity to actually go and get that double kill, but sadly, it's just a little bit too hard to pull through. And body Yachty's all around the floor, they were able to get that defuse. And that was really good. That was a really good push for the side of AR. And they could have had, easily would have lost that one. But it's just so sad to actually go and see. But you know what? It's going to be still very early on in the game. And hopefully we get to see another one. But then, oh, just like that, Zygnus again. AR just struggled so much in that round, and they're still struggling here, and Zygnus seems to be like they're so impressive in Search and Destroy.
Yeah, Fatal does clean up 1 onto Heaven. That's going to slightly bring things back to doable to them. It is still a 4 versus 3 in Zygnus' favor. Here, a couple sniper shots coming through. Does look like Flo is going to get hit markered. Vodka not quite able to find that kill, but may still be looking for it. The absolute ego on Flo G here. Not even fully recovered, comes back up to challenge Vodka. What a flick! Oh my goodness!
Oh, the god flick. I actually didn't think that she would get that, but that is absolutely crazy. This is why you don't peak. You don't re-peak yet again. But then such a strong start. But then it's going to be the response. It's going to be a 1v2 situation. Very, very great teamwork here. That comms is absolutely great, especially with that sniper flick. But then the rotation is going to be going in right now, going into that A bomb site. Smart plays. If you are going to be going in there knowing very well that everyone else is in the Bravo, you go into Alpha. This is what I like to see. Fatal, big brain plays. And now with the Shorty in hand as well as the MX-9, you best believe it's going to be very easy to clutch this up. But you need to make very, very great movements here just because you have 2 people already on your tail.
Well, it looks like Fatal is actually sounding out Yachty. Might be able to pick up the kill. You have to be a little bit cautious here. You've got players pinching from both sides. Does look like Flo is actually going to back off from the laundry or the locker room push. Fatal finds 1. Gonna have to be very, very cautious here as Flo G has been absolutely nuts with the sniper here. The challenge comes through. There's not time, and Fatal gonna clutch it up for Arsenal Girls. Gonna tie things up 1-1. What a big round for Fatal there.
Great round for Fatal, and we already knew that she was gonna go and have that clutch just because she had the IQ, she had the momentum going into that A flag and really just planting there, knowing very well no one's gonna be there, and really going into that great position into trailer. And that was just absolutely great gameplay. But you shouldn't be in a 1v2 clutch, and for the side of right now, Zygnus is doing such a good job, but hopefully that doesn't really just kill their momentum.
Yeah, Flo G got pretty aggressive on the push there after their teammates died. So that's going to put Yachty and Goblin into a 1 versus 4 at this point for the Goblin. Does have a Holger in hand. Big opportunity. Finds 1. Is pretty dangerously hurt here, though. No quick fix, unfortunately, for them. And Vodka going to come through with the refrag, and Arsenal have taken the lead.
Vodka with a shot, and that was just the nail in the coffin for that round. And they went a little bit too aggressive, knowing very well that they're on defense. That's something you don't want to do. You always just wait for your opponent. Yes, maybe even play for picks, but they went in there a little bit too aggressively, and we can see here a very passive play for the side of AR. That's good, because they went in a little bit aggressive a while ago in Bravo, which worked out for them. And this is why we like to see differences in plays, and this passive approach is going to be good for them. They need to have a pick first before they go in for that infiltration. And you know what? I think they might, it's the best way to actually go and plant into Alpha if they get one pick. But one person already going down for the side of AR. One person as well traded out right now. Both teams already having a 4v4 situation.
Oh, Yachty comes through, finds the wall bang. One of the big powers of having that Holger, lot of bullets, has a lot of wallbang potential with it being an LMG. And that is going to come through with the 1-for-2 trade in a favor of the side of Zygnus. And they need this here. Oh, Jules! Yachty rounds the corner and Jules ain't having any of it. Picks up the refrag. It's now a 3 versus 3. Looks like Fatal's pushing up to get the bomb plant. Ooh, grenades coming in. This is why I have those trajectories on for you guys in chat.
Bombs planted. 2 other players need to go and pull through, but then 1 kill already. A 2v3 situation. That is not going to be favorable for the side of AR. 3 people left. It's still very doable for them to actually go in for the clutch. We've seen it already. But in the backstab coming through. Not gonna work. Yes! Gets that denial. Even things out at a 2v2 situation. Again, makes it seem like it's going to be another mistake. Gets to see it, but no! Gets the denial. Yet again, AR already in trouble as the bomb is going to be going down. It's going to be absolutely crazy. Finally, 1 more win for Zygnus. Yeah, that was an amazing, and honestly, the patience coming in for both of these teams is just absolutely crazy. And that's why we're seeing them in an even playing field.
Yeah, what a big round. Heaven came through with a big clutch kill there to help them secure this one. It is going to be the last round of the Arsenal offense, so keep your eye out for that. It is going to be Rosie picking up a big kill on to Flo G off the start. And that's going to give a big opportunity for AR to push on up, potentially get this bomb plant. They are playing it a bit cautious here. I'd like to see a little bit more aggression with that pick, because at this point, a 1-for-1 trade favors you if you're getting the bomb down, because it's going to force the side of Zygnus to play against the clock. As you can see, we do have Yachty rotating over. Was able to pick up a Locus from her team, I believe, because I think she's running the Holger, but bomb is down. 30-some seconds to go, and oh, not looking good. Jules comes through and absolutely smokes Yachty once again.
They left Alpha too open. No one was there to actually go in for the defense. I don't know why they actually stacked mid a little bit too heavily. They could have just sent 1 person, just 1. But even though they actually just did that, they still get a bunch of frags, so it's still very doable. They need to clean up 1 to even things out, but no! Still at a disadvantage. Needs to win all those gunfights, but no, they don't. It's a 1v3 situation. It's still very hard for Yachty to actually do. Gets 1! Oh no, we'll fight against gets 2! Woo! That's the debut! No, it's not enough time! Oh, Goblin! Oh gosh, that was just... You know what? I couldn't really read who that was. I thought it was actually Yachty, but it was actually Goblin. But you know what? It doesn't really matter. Internet, you're amazing, but these players are more amazing.
Yeah, Goblin actually came through with a couple big kills there. Unfortunately, it was more for bragging rights than anything else, because not enough time to clutch up the bomb. Vada sliding the corner here. That was a giant ego challenge. Fatal is going to pick up 2. I switched to the wrong person. Oh my goodness, Heaven and Yachty left alone here. Oh my goodness, it is going to be Yachty at this point, as kills are just flying through for AR. Yachty going to find a big double kill. It's now a 1 versus 2. Has to be cautious about facing this one. Rosie going to come through and picks him off the head glitch. That's going to be the 4-2 lead for Arsenal. And I got to say, this has been a good match. This has been an incredibly solid match between these two teams.
I know, it's close, and we keep saying that. It's Zygnus and Arsenal that will get that close matchup just because of how much they want to win. They don't want to be the losers. They don't want to be the very last in the pack. But then a very aggressive push going into Alpha. Just as I thought,
oh my goodness,
no!
Rosie.
But then the denial, Rosie, is going to give everyone just a bunch of headaches just because of how well she is with that sniper.
Oh my goodness!
Yet another one. Rosie, will she get a third? It's going to be absolutely sinful if she actually gets out, but gets a hit marker.
Rosie comes through with 4 for 5. One of our teammates came through and did yoink the potential ace to have. But great round for Rosie there, and it's looking like AR are just they're in the flow state, as Bobby would say. They're in the flow state. They're looking pretty unstoppable right now. There's going to be Rosie pushing up to challenge. Trophy system is going to save her from that. Hit marker does go out onto Zygnus Heaven.
You can see here. Look at that Bravo. Look at that B-Long. The pinch is going to ensue for the side of Arsenal. Already a 3v5 situation. Needs to have one more kill. There you go. Vodka finishes the job, gives the shot, and finally we get to see a win. And it just seems to be like we're not going to be having a domination round here.
No domination here, but we had some phenomenal matchups in. I gotta say, I get more and more hyped for this tournament every single day we get to cast. Obviously, it's been a pleasure to have you here, Bifami. I mean, it has been a lot of fun. Hopefully, next time we'll have you be able to actually get into the game. But yeah, it's been a great one. And honestly, AR, they were struggling at the beginning. Zygnus was putting up an absolute great fight. They were almost able to turn things around in that hard point, but some good contests coming through from AR was able to deny a lot of time. And then you saw the sniping talent come out for the side of AR between Rosie, Jules, Vodka as well are absolutely nuts. They were picking people apart those last couple rounds. I think Vodka and Rosie both had quad feed rounds, so absolutely cracked.
And I think that's for the side of Zygnus. They just had a hard time really just having a response to those snipers. And yes, you have Yadi, Body Yadi, and Goblin as well. But Holger in hand, that is not going to be enough for the crazy angles in firing range. Maybe you can use that for other maps, but not here. And that's a lesson learned for all of these teams that played today. If something doesn't work out, you need to have a response in the next game. And that is a sign of a really good team as to how adaptable they can be, Day.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And as you guys can see on the scoreboard here, the Goblin coming through with 8 kills. Fatal all the way up at 10. Rosie next closest on AR with 7. Such a great, consistent performance across the board for AR. Yeah, Fatal's up at 10, but look at the rest of the team. Really distributing the work. 6 for Vada, 7 for Rosie, 6 for Jules, 6 for Vodka, as well as their coordinated pushes. We saw every single time that they were on offense, Fatal was able to safely make it up and get that bomb plant thanks to her team coming through with some excellent cover. So, phenomenal games. And that is going to round it out for us tonight. But don't go anywhere, guys. We are going to have the spawn after this, after we go through. We'll look at our standings, our results from the day, the whole shebang. So we'll get to that here in just a second. It does look like we have frozen beef, but hopefully it will...
Oh, am I frozen?
You
okay,
are
wait, let me just
frozen.
Fix that real quick. Thank you for telling me.
All right, yeah, we are unfrozen. There we go.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's because of the gameplay, especially Vodka giving all of the shots. I'm just drunk on all of the action that we just witnessed today. Still no domination, though, sadly. Still no Dami. I'm feeling in day number 3. Maybe we'll have a game number 3 for sure. You know what?
All right, Beef Mommy's calling it. Day 3, we're getting Dom. All right, I'm going to hold you to that one. One.
Right. If not, what happens if it doesn't happen? Oh no.
I haven't thought that far ahead yet. We'll figure it out. But still had some great matches here tonight. I would actually argue that that Zygnus Arsenal matchup at the end might have been the best one here tonight, because the hard point was looking really stacked in Arsenal's favor, and then Zygnus were able to really pull through together. They didn't get as much time on that P1 rotation as I would have liked, but unfortunately sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. We jumped into Search and Destroy. Obviously had some really banger rounds right off the start, and Zygnus was looking like they might be able to turn it around, but Arsenal, they got in their groove, they got in the flow state, and they absolutely ran away with it. So we'll pull up the standings for you guys, run through our action tonight. All right, so we had Honeybees coming through in game won with the 2-0 victory over Carnage. That one is pretty self-explanatory. Honeybees pretty much had control for the entirety of that game. There was definitely a little bit of life shown from Carnage in the hard point, but we moved over into Search and Destroy, and it was very largely Honeybees in control. Beef Mommy, how about you tell us about Truly versus NYX?
Well, it was no question there. NYX absolutely just crushed it all across the board. And without any question, we already knew how powerful NYX could be, but it just seems to be like they're just playing right now. This is just practice. It just seems like this is scrimmage. But truly, they're not going to let that happen again for sure, just because how talented they can actually be. So it's not a close matchup. Obviously, everyone that goes up against NYX is going to be having a hard time. So I think it's going to be a little bit more, I guess, intense into day number 3. I really want to see NYX versus Honeybees, though. That is one thing I really want to see because of how well they've been playing in this matchup so far. So ARP versus OP34, obviously. Op34, though, they gave a little bit of a fight. Yeah, that was another very impressive matchup that I actually see, Day.
Yeah, absolutely. I have high hopes for a lot of these matchups. Obviously, in the coming days, we're hopefully going to have, the Honeybees NYX matchup. Hopefully, we're going to have Honeybees ARP, NYX ARP, and Arsenal, again, they had a really, really tough opponent on Tuesday, and that's, one of the large reasons that they did go down to 0 points for Tuesday. But they come through here and pick up the 20. And we'll hop over to the standings and run it down for you guys because they are starting to develop. All today has taken us out of a 4-way tie. We now have a 3-way tie for first with ARP, Honeybees, and NYX all having 20 points. Carnage lost their game today, so they will remain at 20. Arsenal as well was obviously able to win that last matchup against Zygnus to put themselves up into that tie for 4th place. So definitely looking out for Op34, Truly, and Zygnus, hopefully on Tuesday of next week to turn things around and pick up some good games because all of these teams are so incredibly talented. And we're only on day 2 of a 4-week event, so I'm super, super excited for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And so many things already in store for us for the month of September. We're going through every single week, every Tuesday, every Thursday. Day and Mommy, you're going to be seeing us here. You're going to be sick of our faces just for the next 4 weeks already. But you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure finally starting and really casting for all of you guys and girls just because of how historic this moment will be. And I'm being a little bit emotional just because we deserve this. Us girls, we deserve this W. So I'm so thankful that I'm able to actually be here for you guys for Mobile Mayhem, and with obviously casting with such an amazing talent over here. Day nominee. Oh my gosh, you, my dude, you have been a pleasure to cast with.
Well, I appreciate it. Likewise, a great talent. We're glad to have you for Mobile Mayhem, as well as for a lot of our NA broadcasts. Obviously, we had you for Masters. We didn't have you for Stage 4, though. I was a little disappointed. I was definitely a little bit disappointed. Maybe we'll get you back on that screen again. But that's going to be it for us tonight, guys. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for joining me and Beef Mommy. Thank you, admins, for all the fantastic work. And thank you to the teams for all the exciting gameplay here tonight. But that's going to be it for us. Make sure you join us back on Tuesday of next week for day 3, as well as stick around if you are interested in watching the spawn, which will immediately follow this broadcast in, say about 10 minutes or so. So we'll see you there, and have a good night.